Hi, this is Chris from Embroidery Systems, and today I want to talk to you about the different ways to make patches and crests and the different products that we here at Embroidery Systems have that can help you create them. In recent years, more and more of our customers have approached us about how to provide their customers with crests and patches, and so we've come up with several solutions to help you add this element to your business. You're probably most familiar with patches and crests in a uniform environment, like name badges on coveralls or police, fire and rescue, scouting, that sort of thing. But you may also notice demands from a wider range of clients, like schools, sports teams, clubs, bands, or you may want to create your own custom patches to sell in a retail or online environment. Similar to stickers and buttons, patches and crests have seen a rise in popularity recently as a way of showcasing artwork, promoting a brand, so there may be a lot of opportunity once you start to offer these as a part of your business. Traditionally, what might be considered a real patch is made of a cotton twill material with a specific finish on the outside edge called a Merrowed Edge. This is made with a specialized 3-thread overlock machine called a Merrow machine. A Merrow machine creates a stitch that wraps the edge from front to back, making it look very clean and professional. This little solid block of green metal is a Merrow machine, and it operates very similarly to a sewing machine. You feed your pre-cut patch shapes into the feed dogs of the machine and guide it through while controlling the speed with a foot pedal. It takes some time to master, but a skilled operator can produce a lot of patches in a short amount of time. If you're looking at producing a lot of patches and require that properly finished edge, then a Merrow machine is ideal. However, most embroiderers in Canada especially aren't producing crests on a scale that requires buying and learning a whole new machine, so fortunately, you have some other options. If the Merrowed Edge is a requirement, there are several companies that can provide you with blank patches, which you can then place onto a hoop using sticky backing or spray adhesive, and then sew your name or logo onto directly. Most blank suppliers give you a lot of options in terms of color, shape, and size, so you should be able to satisfy most customers' requests. When using blanks, you can embroider them one at a time in a small hoop, or you can create a template. Using a software like Design Shop, you can create outlines in the shape of the crests to sew into a hoop with a sturdy backing or material in it, and then cut those outlines away, leaving spaces to use an embroidery-safe adhesive to attach the patches over the template, and then sew as many of them as you need. There are also specialized custom hoops available that hold blanks in place. Contact us if you want more information about that option. Since there are certain limitations to providing patches with a Merrowed Edge, and since most people don't even know what a Merrowed Edge is, for years embroiderers have been creating quote-unquote fake patches and crests by simply embroidering a satin stitch as the outside edge and then cutting the material as close to that stitch as possible. Doing this by hand can be quite labor-intensive. So we have some options for that as well. The first option to take the labor out of cutting the patches out by hand is to use something called a cutting needle. This is a replacement for a conventional sewing needle that you put into your embroidery machine, and then you can use that to cut the material in your hoop for a variety of applications, not just patches and crests. You can use it to cut appliques and things like that. We sell cutting needles in packs of 2, and they can last for hundreds of hours. So the way you use a cutting needle is to digitize a bean stitch around the outside edge of your patch shape with a stitch length between 0.3 and 0.4 millimeters. On your machine, program the last color to be wherever you put the cutting needle in so that it will quote-unquote sew that bean stitch, but instead of sewing, it will cut your material. Once the patch is cut free, lift it away and clean up the frayed edge of material with a heat gun or a lighter or the way you would clean it up if you had cut it by hand. Depending on the type of embroidery machine you have, you will have to do things like disabling your thread detection because the cutting needle doesn't actually use thread. And if your machine has a stitch filter, it will also need to be disabled to ensure that those short cutting stitches actually are maintained. If you own a Melco Amaya or EMT16 machine, there's a step-by-step guide to this on our website. Another product that we've recently come out with is something that we call INSTACREST. With INSTACREST, you can embroider your crest design directly onto the material, including a satin stitch border where the traditional Merrowed Edge would be, and then when you're finished, you simply tear the patch out of the material, clean up the edges with a heat gun or a lighter, and you'll have a crest ready to attach to a garment. We sell INSTACREST in 4 colors: white, black, red, or green, and it comes in a 75 centimeter wide roll sold by the meter. If your crest requires a background color different than those 4 colors, simply embroider a fill stitch underneath in the color that you want the background to be, and then the rest of your design on top of that. This is a very convenient way to create limited or small run patches for certain customers. So now that you have a patch and you want to attach it to a garment, you have a couple of different options. You could sew it using a sewing machine to attach it to the garment, or you can use a heat transfer glue to stick that patch to the garment. We tested several different types of heat activated adhesives, and the one that we've come up with is the product that we carry that we call Crest Pro Adhesive. With Crest Pro Adhesive, you just cut a piece of the material that fits your patch and then place it into a heat press at 160 degrees Celsius for 20 seconds. Then peel away the protective backing, and your patch is ready to then press onto virtually any garment using the same time and temperature settings. Crest Pro Adhesive is available in rolls 12 inches wide and either in 10-yard or 50-yard lengths. For any of the products that I've discussed here today, please visit our website, www.embroiderysystems.com, and click on Patches and Crests, or you can call us at 1-888-805-8631 and speak to somebody in our office. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy making patches in the future. Thanks.